What's going on, y'all? Lucky Larry down here at K&L Machine and Welding, and today we have a special guest in our shop. Gonna turn it around here, let you meet him, guys. This is my brother-in-law Joel. He's a good guy, and you know, he's the owner of this. Okay, that's where we started out at, and we went to Virginia and picked this stuff up, and someday I'm going to post some pictures to show y'all the road we went down to pick this truck up. Because to be quite honest with you, now Joel here, he was okay, but I was really listening for banjos. Okay, and you know, it was deliverance all over again, guys. I mean, this was a one-legged dirt trail. But at any rate, today we are out here. We are blocking this fender out, and like I said, we're gonna take you through this process, start to finish. Doing these when you're blocking this filler out, this primer filler. The only thing is, you're getting to a higher, a more quality level. Okay. As you can see, we've already been blocking on this thing, and if you look, okay, all this where you can't see anything but just the color of the primer is okay. Okay, there's no low spots there. We're using you know, a pretty good size block to work this stuff, and it's slicking up. But you come over here, and here we have a low spot. Okay, now the way we know that we have that low spot is we put some guide coat on this. Now the guide coat that I use, if I can find it, is this. Okay, and yeah, I'm going to show you the brand. You know, it's not like these big corporate assholes give a shit about you and me, but I don't have any other way to show you what I use other than to show you who it's made by. So it is 3M dry guide coat. And the way you use this stuff, you turn this thing over, this little tub, you shake it, you get a little bit of this black shit on your application pad, and you put it on there and you just wipe. Okay, and you get this just dark film on there from that powder, and you can take and you can wipe it with a rag and whatever, and it will not come off. The only way it comes off is if you sand it off. That's what shows our highs and lows. So, of course, then you're going to take your sanding block and you're going to lay it down here, and you're going to work it, and you try to keep as much block on the surface at all times as you can. And as you can see, since I had already sanded this, it comes right off. Okay, and you know, we're good there, but we're not over here because we have a low spot. Now, the other thing that you have to watch when you're blocking these out is, if you look here and here and here and here, you see these discolorations. Okay, it's gray. Well, what that gray is, that's our epoxy primer underneath of this. When you see that epoxy primer just start to show, it's time to stop. Even if you haven't got your low spot worked out, it's time to stop. Because you don't want to bust through your epoxy. If you bust through your epoxy, now you got to go back and touch up your epoxy primer. And it's not that it's that big of a deal, but it's a pain in the ass, and you don't want to have to do that. What you would rather do is stop right there. Even if you have a low spot like this, you clean it up. When you're all done, you clean it up, and if you got a few low spots, you come back and you hit it with primer surfacer again. You put 3 more coats of primer surfacer on it, and you reblock it. Okay? And every time it'll get better and better and better until eventually you'll be able to block it until you get none of this, and it'll be just solid primer all the way, and nice and flat and straight and smooth, and then you're ready to put your color on. Okay, So that's where we're at. Another place, one of the big things that you have to be careful of, though, when you're sanding these, is these edges. Anywhere you have an edge, you can do one of two things. Either you can stay away from it and be careful, like this. Okay, you just work up to the edge, but you don't go over it so much. You gotta be careful and keep your sanding block very flat when you're doing this. Because if you roll over like this, about 1 or 2 swipes, and you've done busted through the primer filler, the epoxy, and you're into the metal. Okay, and that's what you don't want. The other place you got to be careful is right here, where you have these radiuses. Okay, you get a sharp radius like that, a sharp inside radius, and it's, like I say, they're difficult, and you can break through very easy. As you can see, you know, I broke through into the epoxy, but we didn't get into the metal. And it took that to get down to where we wanted to be, where we're nice and level. One of the best things that you can do, as far as being quick about this, if you want to, you know, if you're in a hurry and want to get this done, is you work stuff like the radiuses, your edges, you work all that first. Okay, you go in and you do that first, and you work around your edges, and you sand those, being very careful not to bust through. Okay, just like this. And as you can see, we're coming in, and by the time you're done, okay, you'll have this band around all this stuff that you have sanded out. Now that's not what we're doing today, because Joe and I, we're sitting here just bullshitting, having a good time, catching up. Joel hasn't been down here in the shop in several weeks. He's got other projects that he's working on. He's been remodeling on his house and doing a bang up job of it. Not really worried about how fast we're moving. We're just moving. But if you work these edges first and get those, by the time you get your edges all the way around, you will have over 50% of your work done, because it always takes more time on your edges than it does anywhere else, because you got to be careful. Once you get those done, 50% of your work is done. Now all you got to do is go back and hit these nice big flat or radius, big round radiuses. You just got to go back and hit them, and you can knock those out quick. Okay, so that's where we're at with that, guys. I'm going to turn the camera off now, because that's really about all we got to talk about on this, and we'll fire the camera back up when we get it all done in and cut in, and show you where we're at, and show you if we got to go back and shoot another coat of primer on. So for now, it's Lucky Larry, and of course my buddy Joel, and this is a piece of Frank. This is kind of Frank's, I guess if I had to pick a piece of anatomy, this is sort of Frank's ass. Okay, this is his rear fenders. They're two fenders. That's like his 2 ass cheeks. Okay, so we're working on Frankenstein's 2 ass cheeks here, and when we get them done, we'll come back and have a look at them. Okay, guys, we're going to come back here and take a look at something. Now, before we do, I gotta warn you. Now, my brother-in-law, now he's a good dude, man. He's over here talking about taking me to Key West down to Fantasy Fest. Now, I don't know if y'all know anything about this, man. This is where the freaks go. Now, you know, they get naked and paint themselves up from head to toe, and that's all they wear. Can you see this guy like that? Let me tell you, man. I mean, you know, in this damn safety yellow hat of his. I mean, I'm telling you. Sure. Yeah, I mean, this is a specimen right here, guys. What I did want to show you, though, ran across something that might help somebody out. If you'll look right here, okay, you'll see some dark spots, and it's all in a line here, okay, and that's, I don't know if that was part of the dye hit or part of how we filled it, or what exactly that was, but what I want to show you is when you're sanding that, okay, you can't effectively use, I mean, you can, but like I say, you can't, it's just not real good to use this gigantic block. So what you do is you resort to a smaller block, and generally that's a bad thing, but when you're getting in tight quarters, that's you do what you got to do, and that's a good thing. But what you don't do, okay, you put your block down here. What you don't do is this, okay? You don't want to work it like this with the edge of the block. You don't want to be coming from here up into here. Now, will it take the dark spot away? Yes, it will. But what it will also do is it will leave that low spot. What you want to do, the technique for doing this, you start up here across where your block crosses your low spot. Now, you get here and you just pull it. Okay, just like that, so that your block stays across the low spot, because you're trying to work the high spots down. So you want to be sanding here and not here. Okay, so what you do is you lay your block in there, get a good bit of pressure on it, and then you just stay across the low spot. And as you see, the low spot will come out. Now, I would show you right here, but we've already busted through into the epoxy, and I don't want to go through the epoxy. So what I will do is come down here where we've got a little low spot, and as I say, you put your block clear across it, and you keep your block clear across it. Okay, you just work it like that. And as I say, I can see where I'm busting through into the epoxy again. But as you see, our low spot is quite diminished. So that is the technique for working that, where you're in kind of close quarters and you got a low spot you need to work out. But you can't, it's kind of ineffective using this huge block. That's where you're at. So. Okay guys, we're down here at the end of the day. My old ass is dragging, and we're going to take a look at what we got done today. Well, let me go around here to Joel. What are you into, Joel?
We're putting the Rust-Oleum on the inside. Easier to do it when it's this way than after we've got a final.
Oh, okay. Is that like custom clear coat Rust-Oleum you're putting inside there? Or what do we got going on?
Everything we use is high performance.
High performance. Okay, it's a high performance Rust-Oleum. All right, all right. Well, I'm assuming we're putting it on with a high performance paintbrush too.
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
I've got my high performance gloves. My high performance hands. Okay. And I'm just a high performance kind of guy.
There you go. There you go. All right. Okay, guys. Yeah, man, Joel's over. Joel, yeah, we're having a good time, and Joel's over here. He's got him a seat here inside our sawhorses, and he's putting some Rust-Oleum on there to kind of neutralize anything before it gets started. We shot some epoxy on the inside of this, as you can see, and of course we got some overspray urethane on it. And like I say, we didn't get real concerned about the inside of it as far as what it looks, other than the fact that we want some black paint on it. So that's what Joel's doing. We got the outside of it. We got the first coat of primer filler blocked out. It looks real good. We had, as you can see, like right in here, we had a few places we busted through into the epoxy, but nothing major. We got this one over here. Actually, that one there is completed. This one over here, I still got to come along this edge and finish it up. And same thing with it. We had, let me see here. We had some areas like here and here. We had a few places we busted through, but you know, nothing major. Take a look around here where Joel has completed the inside of this fender, and it looks very nice. So basically all we got to do is we're going to shoot one more coat of urethane primer filler on it, and we're going to hit it a lick with our sanding blocks, and we're going to block it out just a little bit and get it good and straight and flat, and then we're going to shoot some color on it, and that's probably where we'll get back to you guys at. So as soon as I get all this junk done and we get everything ready to go into color, we'll bring you back for another video, and until the next time, we'll talk to you later, guys. This is Lucky Larry down here at K&L Machine. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. See you later.